Hi, my name is Sheila Bruno, and I want to talk to you a few moments about the pains of imprisonment and how the pains of imprisonment is not taken as seriously as it should be. Not only how it affects returning citizens, but how it affects the family members as well. Within the reentry programs, there should be decompression programs that incorporate mental health education and mental health treatment. These are two vitally important components that make up reentry. Housing, yes. Transportation, yes. Employment, yes. I get that. Those are cornerstones needed to rebuild a life after prison. But I have to agree with the experts. Without mental health, there's not enough glue to hold the components together. Not to mention relationships. I wonder how many repeat offenders would be free today if they had access to mental health education and mental health treatment. How many marriages would be saved if they had access to mental health education and mental health treatment? Not to mention how many people would be alive today if mental health education and mental health treatment, effective mental health treatment, was made available not only upon reentry, but on the inside as well. Returning citizens and family members, those who are incarcerated, need to gain insight into the psychological impact of incarceration. They need to understand post-incarceration syndrome and how prison changes people. They also need to be given the tools to respond to the challenges that comes with reentry. Men and women are returning into society every day with various mental disorders and dysfunctions. We all know instinctively that prison must affect people beyond the time that it takes from their lives. But it's the ramifications that many just don't know about. Recidivism, broken relationships, domestic violence, even lost lives. These all represents the chaos that incarceration leaves in its path. There's no significant amount of progress that can be made if mental health is not a part of the cornerstone. But don't take my word for it. Have a conversation with the returning citizen who said, I was in prison for 22 years. I've been out 2 years. And mentally, I'm messed up. And I've messed up my wife's head. Or have a conversation with the wife that has said, he's a vile and barbaric predator that the system has unleashed from the chains that had him bound. Or have a conversation with me, married to someone who was incarcerated for over a quarter of a century. I know firsthand what the devastation of incarceration looked like. I watched a kind, caring, supportive husband turn into someone I did not recognize within the first 2 years of our marriage. He proclaimed me as his soulmate. This is my soulmate. This is my soulmate. But he began treating me like his most hated cellmate. So those who serve the population, those who work in the field of reentry, whether it's the state or federal agencies, whether it's prison ministries, reentry organizations, reentry programs, I ask that you consider the fact that mental health needs to be a priority and not an afterthought. I encourage you to take this seriously. Again, men and women are returning to society and they're suffering. They're suffering in silence because they don't want anybody to know. But if we talk about it, it would make it so much easier for them to talk about it. Again, let's make mental health a priority and not an afterthought. Let's talk about mental health like we talk about physical health.